I'm so tired and I just got home from work, but I need something good to eat, so I'm gonna make this lemon chicken pasta. It's gonna take like 30 minutes. But first, a cherry Coke. Step one, I'm gonna cube up my chicken and then brown it real quick in my pan, and then I'm gonna take the chicken off the heat to make my sauce, and then I'll return the chicken to the sauce to finish cooking in the sauce. I'm gonna cut up 3 chicken breasts for this pasta, which is probably gonna be maybe too much, but just do however much you want. Cutting chicken really disgusts me to my very core, so I almost never do it. And right now I just can't even take it anymore. I'm seasoning my chicken with salt, pepper, thyme, onion powder, red pepper flake, and then I'm gonna use fresh garlic. Add however much you want. It's all gonna taste the same anyway. You can actually just season it however you want. I have my one gloved hand and my one non-gloved hand, making life very difficult because I don't want to use another pair of gloves. I just hate using that many gloves. Alexa, skip. A pinch of red pepper flake. You can't see it, but it's there, trust. Okay, my half-cooked chicken is off to the side with its juices. The juice is gonna go back into the sauce as well with the chicken to finish, and that'll add a lot of flavor. It looks pretty weird right now, but just trust the process. It's gonna be really good, and that ensures that you don't overcook your chicken. Okay, now to the same pan that I made my chicken in, I'm gonna make a roux with this much flour and this little nub of butter, and maybe more butter if it needs more, but I don't like to measure, and it turns out fine. So making a roux will help emulsify the sauce without having to work too hard, and I don't want to work too hard because I'm tired. Easy. You can probably do a lot less flour. You don't need to use flour, I usually don't, because it has Parmesan cheese in the sauce and that thickens everything up nicely. More butter goes in. Make sure if there are any brown bits on your pan that you scrape up that fond, because that's where all the flavor comes from. I'm just gonna cook my roux for like a minute or two more, and then I'll start adding chicken stock. I do what it takes till I touch the sky. My pasta of choice today is going to be mini penne, the most goated pasta of all time. Argue with your mom. You want to salt your pasta water, so where it's salty, just shy of how salty the ocean is. But I don't know how salty the ocean is. That seems like a lot, but that's usually how much I do. Yeah. It's not as much as you think because only some of the salt is going to go into the pasta. So salt your pasta water always, because that's the only way to make sure you're not going to get like bland pasta itself. You don't want to have a salty sauce and then have bland, unsalted pasta underneath. Now coming back to my sauce, obviously the roux is already done its roux thing and I added chicken stock to thin it out. I'm gonna add a little bit more chicken stock and then I'm gonna add heavy whipping cream. I don't measure, just measure with your heart, measure with your eyes, measure with how good you think the vibes are that day. And you can always adjust it, like it doesn't have to cook for a certain amount of time or anything, like it's fine. So don't be afraid. So this is how you snap asparagus to make sure that you don't get any like hard, grainy, whoa. See, this is how much isn't gonna be soft. You can still eat this whole stalk. It's edible, it's just that the outside is really tough. So if you're gonna use it, you're supposed to peel the outside and then you can chop it up, put it in like stews or whatever. I don't necessarily have time for that today, but I'm just gonna chop up all this asparagus, add this into my sauce with the chicken, and then we'll come back and I'll show you all the seasonings I use. Each asparagus will snap at a different spot. Okay, I added my chicken back to it and my asparagus. As you can see, it still looks weird, but trust the process. Okay, wash your lemon really good, and I'm gonna grate the lemon zest into the sauce. Only get the outer yellow part, the white part that's just underneath is bitter. And then I'll juice this, and I'll probably add the juice of at least half, if not the whole lemon. The lemon is in, I'm also going to add just a tiny scrape of fresh nutmeg. I've never added this to the sauce before, but I know I like nutmeg in crepe sauces, so I'm just going to add a little bit because fresh nutmeg is very pungent. My aromatics today are 1 little sprig of rosemary and 1 bay leaf. Always salt as you go in every dish. And pepper. Okay, my pasta's done. My chicken is like 30 seconds from being done. The sauce is so good. I'm just gonna add a tiny extra pinch of red pepper. So always feel free to adjust your sauce as needed. Just a tiny bit, maybe a little more. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, now the last step is to add our cheese. You definitely want to do this at the final step because you don't want your sauce to get too thick and like gloopy. And today I'm going to be using shredded cheese from a bag. Are you supposed to grate your own cheese? Yes. I don't want to because I turned off the heat and now I'm just going to add a little handful of Parmesan cheese little by little at a time and mix it in until it's emulsified. And then I will toss my penne with the sauce and a little bit of reserved pasta water until it's the texture that I like. I mixed in enough cheese to get to this kind of sauce consistency. It seems thinner now, but once I toss the pasta in it, it will start to thicken up really fast, and I'm gonna top it with more Parmesan cheese as well. But just add as much as you want. It really does not matter. This is a really easy thing to make. Here she is. Now that my pasta is done, I'm gonna top it with some freshly grated Parmesan cheese. I really like the texture that this gives. It's like very salty, so it's great for finishing. Obviously this is fresh grated Parmesan, not like nasty shit you can get that's not refrigerated. Like cheese needs to be refrigerated. So never buy cheese that doesn't need to be refrigerated. That's all I gotta say. And also top it with a little bit of parsley. Ta-da! My only complaint about this pasta is that I put too much chicken in it, so now I'm going to be way too buff and muscly from all the protein.